Dan Larson here at the photo booth with a very special collection of Transformers. My friend Matt, who I've known since 7th grade back in the 80s, was helping his mom clean out their longtime home that was up for sale. He found a box with all of his stuff, asked if I wanted it, which was ridiculous because of course I wanted it. Transformers, Masters of the Universe, any old toys, I don't discriminate. I'll give it all a good home. So Matt asked, I accepted, and then when I got the box home, I shot a video, blind style, without knowing what was in the box, and it was really cool, and you got to see everything accumulating up in a pile while I took it out, but the audio was crap, and here we are. I haven't had a chance to clean or test any of this stuff yet, but I did match up everything, bits and parts and things, and so let's take a look at what was included. Up first is this Omega Supreme, and here's the crazy thing about this Omega Supreme. Not just that it's almost entirely here. We're just missing one of these fastener clip things here, which I may actually have in another one of my accessory bins that just turned up in another collection at some point or at the flea market or whatever. It's not just that Omega Supreme is here and in really good condition. I still need to give him a bit of a bath here and see if his battery functions work. But this is the Omega Supreme that I think about whenever I think about Omega Supreme, because Matt was the only person I knew when I was a kid that had this. So sleep over at his house, see this thing for the first time, get a chance to put my hands on it, play with it, see how it works, see what it is, marvel at the glory of the enormousness of this thing and the complexity of the tracks and the rocket and all that, everything. So to this day, when I think about Omega Supreme, this is literally the figure that I picture in my head. This is the one. And so, I mean, talk about provenance. It is amazing to me that this thing survived and that this is the one that I've always thought about. And now it's thanks to Matt and his mom. This is now in my collection. Like I said, I haven't tested the battery functions yet or anything. So hopefully he still walks. I don't even know. Hopefully it still walks and the train functions and all that stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna push Omega Supreme back here a bit to the back of the booth, because we do have other stuff coming in. Up next is Trypticon. Let's get this positioned right here. So Trypticon. So 1, 2, bing, bang. We got Omega Supreme and then Trypticon. Another one that I haven't tested to see if it works yet as far as the battery functions are concerned. Might need a little bit of cleaning. Along with the bot itself, we also had the cannon parts and what's his face and the ramp. I'm not gonna put this stuff out. I'm just gonna show you the ramps and all the little guns and stuff. Those are all in here as well. So another amazing piece. Here's the thing: I don't own a lot of G1 Transformers currently. I own more now, but I don't have a lot. I have mostly, when I was a kid, I collected mostly like the cassettes. And Dinobots and a few other things. A lot of my childhood Transformers did not survive, certainly not as well as Matt's did here. So this has more than doubled my collection of G1 Transformers, and I never had the big pieces. I had two brothers, and we had other interests: G.I. Joe, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, video games, whatever. Obviously Matt did too. But we just never had the opportunity to actually own or play with any of these things. So it's pretty crazy to see these things in person now and to be able to add them to my collection once I find a place to put them. That is, after Trypticon, we're going to have a city battle as Metroplex is also here. Excuse me, Cannon. We'll be over there. And Metroplex, just like the others, he's in really, really nice shape. I'm going to adjust down here a bit. Really, really nice shape. The chrome still looks fantastic. This is the rubber tires version, and all of these tires actually look really, really nice. Got some nice decals. Put your ears up. And Metroplex also had 6-gun. And then these guys, I don't even know if this tank has a name. And then I don't remember his name. But both guns are here too, so that is really awesome. Just a great selection of pieces here to put a nice monster G1 collection together. Who do I even have? I think I have a G1. I definitely have Soundwave. Like I said, I was big into the cassettes. I have Megatron, Optimus, a lot of the Minibots. Oh, geez, I don't even know what else I have. But now I've also got Computron. Another, well, so this is actually the first combiner, technically. The first combiner here in this batch of stuff. We've got at least one more to come. But hey, you know what? Computron's in good shape here. I know I saw a couple of different, once again, I never owned Computron or any of the Technobots, so I had to look this one up as far as like what how to put it together, how to transform it. I didn't know how to transform any of these things. Scattershot definitely needs some cleaning work here. But I saw a couple of different configurations as far as how the legs go together and stuff. I opted for this one. There were definitely one or two configurations I saw that made him a little taller. And one that had the feet. I do like the legs facing this way. It's a little bit better looking than seeing the back of the legs. Anyway, I think this one was complete too. Just like with Trypticon there, all the bits, all the guns and stuff were also in the box. I think maybe one of these is missing, this particular gun for Scattershot. I'm not sure if it came with one or two. This one only had one in the box, so I think that other piece might actually be missing. I'm gonna slide you over here, Six Gun. Put you over here. Next up is one of the most amazing pieces, just from Transformers in general, and certainly with one of the most interesting backstories as far as how it crossed over and the Tokataku license and all that stuff. We've talked about that on a couple of our other videos before, history of Robotech, history of Transformers. You can tell just from this that Jetfire's a little discolored here. You can see the white that he really should be versus the beach yellow that he has taken on. I was looking at this and I was thinking, hey, you know what? I love those shore troopers from Rogue One. Maybe I'll just put a dash of, maybe I'll put some light ocean blue, some sky blue on here, and just keep it like it is and call this beach Jetfire. But he's got all his stuff. You know, these things are always busted and broken. One of these clips, because this is the most fragile plastic on the planet, one of these clips is busted here, which is incredibly common with these things. I'm just glad it was in the box. I really don't. And that one of the clips was still intact. His gun was there. These have been sitting, I don't know if it was in a basement. I'm going to assume it was in a basement or closet. All of these were very tight. The joints are very tight. They, feel like they've been sitting in a basement. They're very dry. That's the word I was looking for, the explanation. They're very dry. And if you're a G1 Transformers collector and you have experience getting these things back into sort of a, more manageable condition, help me out here. I don't know anything about that as far as trying to restore the sort of softness of the plastic. Like Trypticon's fine, but this Jetfire, man, is he just dried out and brittle. All the springs and the snaps and everything still seem to be okay, but man, did I have to be very careful when I was transforming this thing, because everything was just squeaking and then clicking into place, and it was just it was an adventure trying to put that thing together initially. And I will probably especially, I may try to lighten it. I don't know. That my fear is that the red and the black parts and stuff are also going to lighten up once I try to treat the really yellow parts. There's really going to be no way to tell the goo, hey, don't lighten the red parts. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I'll have to make a decision. I'm probably just going to leave it in robot mode and not touch it. Just leave it as is. But anyway, after Jetfire, we've got more jets on deck here. Another combiner. I would have put this one together. So this is all the aerial bots. Unfortunately, Silverbolt here needs some cleaning for sure. But unfortunately, the two pins that hold his legs on, the pins have come out somehow. I don't know how that happens, but there's a metal pin that goes here, and same thing on the other leg that would keep his... And you need those legs to be able to actually combine into Superion mode, or even just to put it into Silverbolt robot mode. The only thing it really works for right now is jet mode. So that's unfortunate. that those pins are out, because I really don't think that's... If it is a fix that can be done, I don't know if that's a fix I'm going to do. I may just have to keep my eyes out for another silver bolt. Otherwise, you know, condition on these, it ranges from really, really nice, really, really clean. You know, this plastic doesn't feel too bad, doesn't feel too brittle or too tight. But over here's a different story. Decals are missing. This red, especially the metal parts, just feel really, really dried out and rough. But again, all the pieces seem to be here. I haven't done a specific inventory just yet to make sure that every tiny little gun is here, but there are quite a few tiny little guns. And the main gun is here, and the head is here, and the torso piece, 2 feet, the ramp, all that stuff. So that's excellent. I was, as far as combiners go, Superion was definitely the one that I wanted the most, and I think at some point I was actually able to get 2 of them. I want to say I had these 2, F-15, F-4 Phantom, but was never actually able to put the whole thing together. I was not fortunate enough to get that whole gift set that came with all 5 aerial bots. I would have bought them individually, I think. If not, then I would have grabbed them, I don't know, like a flea market or something. Not a flea market, probably like a yard sale somewhere, just grabbing them as individual pieces. But after that, we've got another favorite of mine, which it really surprises me that I don't still have my Grimlock from when I was a kid. My Grimlock I found out in the park nearby the, you know, in our neighborhood. So I'm pretty sure I knew who it belonged to. And too bad for that guy, because, you know, you know the law of the playground, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, and I found it and he lost it. It's too bad. This Grimlock is in really, really nice shape. Little bit of chrome loss on the tail, but otherwise everything this thing transformed like it was, you know, practically new. He's got his gun, he's got his sword. All we're missing is the missile launcher and missiles. But that's the gold chrome looks fantastic. His toes look fantastic. The clear plastic pieces aren't like foggy or anything, so it's really great to see that in there as well. On top of that, as if that wasn't enough, I posted a picture of this on Instagram today, actually, when I shot this. This is a piece that my wife, Mrs. Toy Galaxy, has wanted for a really long time because she's into photography and cameras and stuff. So this crosses over both our interests, and I've seen these for sale before. It's not a piece that I've sought out, but I know that the lens and the flash bulb are almost always missing, and one of those pieces that you need, it clicks too. So satisfying. And I know that this reflector has been released for Siege, and the regular one, the single packs, I was like, nah, I don't really need to get that. And then I saw that they were doing the 3-pack with the vintage colors, the red and the blue, and even then I was like, maybe I'll grab that one. And now that I have a G1, I'm like, crap, now I have to get the new one too. I know look, if you're a toy collector, you understand that logic. I don't think I have to explain it to you. The cool thing is not only was reflector in here, if you find a spot for this, but all the bits were in here as well. So we've got all 3 guns. And then there were two of the actual missiles, missing the 3rd, but hey, I'll take that all day long. Next up, we've got the clones here, Fastlane and Cloudraker. Gun-wise, I'll be honest, I don't know. I think these guns, if I remember correctly, actually go over here. Your fists aren't out, so that's going to be tough. Maybe that's why I put them over there. Wow, this is tough. How do you even get those out? Oh, is this little tab here? Anyway, we've got the spoiler, 2 guns over here. Both wings are still attached. I'm assuming all those rub symbols still work. Good to have those. And those are in really nice condition. Probably run a toothbrush over the legs there just to make sure that those are cleaned up a bit. Hard to tell if that's like, just the accumulation of moisture and dust, or if some of these are actually starting to, get a little bit of mold on it. That would be scary and dangerous. Also in this box, we've got the Omnibot Overdrive, which I'm not even going to... This is such an early piece, I'm not even going to try to transform it. I'm actually probably going to leave it in mask mode here with wings out and guns flipped out. I dig that. This one reminds me of the GoBot Turbo, too. Kind of like a GoBot, a turbo sideswipe sort of feel there. But yeah, these, as far as I remember, Omnibots sort of predate the regular Transformers. They were mail order, if I remember correctly, very, very early on. I didn't know I knew somebody who had them, but apparently Matt did, at least this one. And I've seen these before, but this is the first time I've actually had an opportunity to own an Overdrive. So that's another fantastic piece to finally be able to put in my own personal collection. And just like a lot of the other stuff in here, I'm surprised but delighted that Matt was able to hang on to the weapons as well. These tiny chrome weapons. This piece still really, really chromy. The other two missing a little bit, but for the most part, still in really great shape. And then we've got a mixed bag of smaller bits here. We've got Cup with heavily applied decals. I never would have applied this many decals. And in fact, I don't even know, is this even his decal? I don't even know. This was a piece I didn't own growing up. I had pretty much bailed on Transformers by the time the movie came around, except for, again, like I said, cassettes. I stayed with the cassettes pretty much until they stopped making cassettes. In fact, I'm still collecting cassettes. I just pre-ordered the two that Hasbro just put out, the giraffe and the bird, or whatever they are, the combiners. Giraffu, and I don't remember what the other guy's name is. But this was cool. It's got his gun and everything. I do have... somebody sent in when I was down at NC ToyCon, North Carolina ToyCon, someone, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name right now, blanking on that, gave me the Repro Hot Rod, and so I at least have Hot Rod, Repro Hot Rod, and the actual G1 cup here for 1986 Transformers movie bots, and most importantly, his gun is in here as well. We've also got Dirge. Dirge's fists are included, and I think that's all. That's pretty much everything he had. Guns, wings, wheel. It needs a little bit of a cleaning, but otherwise, you know, cone is in good shape. Everything looks good there. Some good decals. Can we fit him in somewhere here? We've also got Hoist, which missing one fist, and then any weapons that he would have come with seem to be missing, but at least we've got the two tails. And again, rubber tires are in good shape. Chrome looks good. It's getting a little busy over here now, getting a little traffic jammy. We've got Topspin, which I don't remember which one my brother and I had. We either had Twin Twist or Topspin. I think we had Topspin. I have not tested this out to see if it worked. I always love this robot design, and this was one I was really glad to see pop up in, I don't remember if it was Combiner Wars or Power of the Primes, but really glad to see the modern versions of those from Hasbro get released, because they were close enough to the originals that they felt like the originals, but really took, you know, this sweet ship mode and the drill machine mode, and made them cool, interesting modern vehicles with sweet posable robots. We've got an Astro Train that I'm not going to try to transform. I've had a few of these in the past that did not survive well once they got to this sort of brittle stage. You know, there's a lot of little tiny hinges on here and stuff, a lot of decals. This one definitely needs to have some, have like a toothbrush run over it to get some of this dirt and potentially mold off of here. But hey, we've got the gun, and as far as I can tell, even without transforming it, it looks like everything is here and intact, and I should be able to get all... Oh god, yeah, I don't even want to move those. I want to heat those up, maybe oil them a little bit before I try to... I can't see if his arms are in there, but I think... I mean, it looks like his arms are in there, so I should be able to get all three modes out of that as well. And then we've got Chrome Dome, which unfortunately is missing the actual head, the driver here, so that's another one that just needs a little bit of cleaning. And then we'll be in really great shape. We've got a batch of Minibots here. Sea Spray, Power Glide. We've got Warpath. I don't remember these names of these. I believe these were pack ends at one point just to kind of keep the line going. And these were a really big deal, as I recall. As a kid, I definitely had this one because I remember this pivoting gas cannon tire on the back, and they pull back and roll. I don't remember their names and haven't taken the time to look them up just yet. But we also have Skytread. I passed on the recent Skytread. May have to go get it now that I have the G1. And then we have the Battle Chargers, which, gotta say, probably two of the worst G1 Transformers. I remember thinking as a kid that it was a pretty novel thing that, you know, they could kind of pop up and transform. But now it's a pretty rough looking pair of toys. And then, of course, the double agent here with a little bit of plastic burn on the windshield, but both weapons intact. This is Punch. I think it's Punch Counter Punch or just Counter Punch. I'm not sure. I know if this was if I was to ask Thu, I would get Couch Punter Couch. So that's I'm gonna go with Couch Punter Couch. That works good enough for me. Also, outside of Transformers, Matt was definitely or is a big fan of just robots in general, including Robotech. So inside the box, we also had Scott Bernard's armored Cyclone bike here. No figure, stickers are all missing, tires are getting a little bit cracked and rough, kickstand's busted off, but was really neat to see that in there, and that'll be fine for posing with, you know, 3 3/4 inch figures or anything. Max Sterling's helmet was in there. Oops, let's hold that up a little bit better. We got Max Sterling's helmet, and then we've got a small Valkyrie here, which I'll show you in comparison to Jetfire, how tall he stands. Not really sure where this is from. There's no maker's mark. There's no manufacturer listed on here. No bicep swivels, which is frustrating. His arm busted off. The pin here is snapped, so I don't know to what degree I'm really going to be able to fix that. I'm going to try my best. It definitely transforms. A little bit of discoloring. Kind of loose in the hips, but everything else is just super tight to the point where I'm afraid to move it. But I would like to find out where that is, if it's actually a legit Tokataku piece, or if it's a knockoff of some sort. We've also got this, this was a surprise. I never expected to see this in there. This is a Godaiken Dan Cougar, which I'm not going to get into who Dan Cougar is just now. Google it if you want to know more about it. But all the pieces were actually in here. These I am absolutely not going to, like I said, I'm not going to try to transform them without at least looking up the instructions and seeing exactly how. This is the head somehow is in here somewhere. But I don't want to take the chance that I mistransform that thing and just completely break it. There was also just a bunch of miscellaneous things. We had a Power of the Force Princess Leia Organa as Jabba's prisoner here with a crunched up bubble. I definitely have this figure loose and carded, so I'm not sure where that one's going to land, but also all these other bits. Devastator head, one Constructicon. We got a piece from the Millennium Falcon radar dish, some other Seeker, Conehead Seeker wings, actually both sets of wings, and some missiles. There were some Transformers magnets in here. I thought they were erasers at first, but it turns out they actually do stick to metal. That qualifies them as magnets. So those are neat. And then there were actually a couple of other weapons and stuff in here, including some vintage Star Wars weapons. So it was neat to see that stuff. But what I'd really like to do is close this out talking about a few really, really unique things in here. This is my absolute favorite part of this collection, are things that could have only come from this collection. And first is going to be Matt's Stealth Cosmos, which is just a regular Cosmos with generously applied black marker. It's a pretty cool colorway, and you can see all the little marker, you know, strokes and stuff here. But it just, that's the kind of thing I love, seeing that, you know, there was some play involved here, you know, and Matt really tried to take it to a different place than every other Cosmos that existed. Second is, I was recently reading through Blake Wright's book, The Toys That Time Forgot, and he mentioned in the section about Mysterians that Brawn was very likely a piece that came from Mysterians before it was associated with Transformers, as opposed to being a part of either Diaclone or Microman. There was a thought for a long time that Brawn came from Microman because he has this M on his hood right here. There's an M. But it probably stands for Mysterians. And then also, please note that Matt added a custom license plate to the front of this, which is really, really great. But so on top of there being a Brawn in here, there was also an Outback, and for those, if you don't know, Outback is basically the same mold as Braun for the most part, except for, you know, the sort of body and face piece that's a little bit different. But what I love about it is that Matt actually took the initiative to paint in the M on the hood, settling the debate over what it stands for, obviously indicating that it stands for Matt. Huge thanks again to Matt for keeping all these pieces in such great condition and passing them on to me as the next caretaker of the collection. And of course, extra special thanks to Matt's mom for for playing host to this collection for so long and not tossing them out. Thank you for watching this and all of our videos. Hit like, hit subscribe, check out our Patreon if you're in the position to help the channel grow. Thank you very much. Later.